Hi, I'm here with a 2011 Honda Odyssey and having some trouble with the smell of burning oil. And going online, it looks like there might be an issue with the VTEC oil pressure interface at the front of the engine, and if it's not taken care of, it will leak into the alternator and destroy the alternator. So I'm having a look at it right now. I'm not sure what it is, so we're going to dive into it and see what's going on and start taking things apart. So as you can see, there are several covers that need to come off. This plastic cover will need to come off, and I don't think I'm going to take this cover off. It isn't necessary. Don't want to do more than I have to get at the front component. The front component is right down in here, so I'll get a better close-up so you can start seeing that. But for now, I'm going to take off the cover and get that going. Okay, you can expect anything in a modern engine is not going to go as quickly as planned. There's a lot packed in here, and right now I can already see that the harness for the coilover plugs is going to be required to be removed. But I'm focusing down on the oil leak. You can actually see the wetness of the oil there, and it looks like it's coming from this unit. So this is the unit that's going to come out. And this is the unit that's involved with the VTEC, so how the engine is going to be changing its intake and exhaust profile on the cams. So we'll have to do a little further research how best to separate this and get it off, and then we'll attack that. Okay, so after having a better look into the manual for the Odyssey, there really isn't much information on how to replace the or to get at the rocker arm oil control module there. So I think what I'm going to need to do is to take off the front cover, try and clear out a little bit better from the left-hand side, and not try and take out the electrical conduit for the spark plugs there. So at this stage, we'll see if we can sneak it out sideways, although I have my doubts here. So we'll just work away at that, and we'll see how far we get. Okay, so we have the unit out. It wasn't as difficult as I thought. We've left the harness in, but I've just taken the bracket out. There was a bracket in behind that was quite easy to get at, so I got that out. So that's not too bad, and this does look like where the oil leak is coming from. So this is the gasket surface, and I did buy a gasket, although I'm going to find out in a moment whether it's the correct one. We can see that this looks like where the problem is. If you take a look there, you can see the amount of buildup of oil and sludge on the bottom of that. So I'm going to take it to the bench and start working on cleaning it up and getting it prepared for putting back in, and we should have this nailed down pretty quick. Okay, this is hard to do. There we go. All right, so I have started the process of evaluating what's going on, and it turns out the kit that I've bought doesn't work with this car. So I've gotten the wrong gasket. That would be the quickest and easiest replacement, but that's going to be a bit of a challenge. So at this point, what I'm going to do is, looks like I'm going to use a little bit of silicone grease and really try and recondition the seals as best I can until I can get some new ones. I was going to use some Permtex liquid gasket, but there really isn't a lot of sealing surface, and it would be a pretty temporary fix, and that's not really what I'm going for here. I want to fix it and not worry about it again. So to make the cleanup easier, I'm just going to silicone it in with just some silicone grease, and hopefully that keeps the rubber a little bit more supple because it's getting quite dried out in the oil. and definitely needs to be replaced at this stage. So I'm stuck at this point, going to reassemble, and when the new seal comes in, I'll put it in. Okay, so here is the cleaned up valve. So we can see there's the underside of the valve and the two switches on top. These are operated by oil pressure, so as the oil pressure rises in the car, it opens up the valve, and that these switches are then there to initiate changes in the fuel mapping and so on. So here is the valve, or the seal, that I took out of the unit, and you can see the kit that I bought doesn't quite match, and that's too bad on my part. So and here's the other oil pressure switch that that I also would need to replace on the top. It's also quite hard now, and I don't think it's leaking, so I'm not going to play around with that one too much, but I'm certainly going to grease them both, put them back together, and then order the new kit for the proper size. Okay, so I dug a little deeper here, and you can see that there's actually another plate that fits on top of here. There we go. So this is what you would see, and if I take the plate off, there is a separate compartment underneath with another lovely gasket here, which I don't have.